In this question, you're given an equation, right? The equation is y equals 2x plus 10. There's two ways you can graph this. First, we're going to just look at the equation, okay? We're going to graph by using the equation. This is written in the form y equals mx plus b, right? Okay, so what is m? What does m represent in the equation y equals mx plus b? Yep. Which is what? Represents the slope. Okay, remember, we've been talking about this a lot. Slope is the coefficient of x. That means the number that x is being multiplied by. What does b represent? The y-intercept. And this is the constant term. That means it's the number by itself. Okay? So we can use just the equation, the slope and the intercept, to graph this. Okay, you can start with, and you have your graph there. What was the scale they used? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, we're counting by twos. And what did they count by in the x-axis? Ones, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. We're counting by ones, okay? Now, the slope is equal to 2, but slope is rise over run. So that means that the rise is 2. What's the run? 2 divided by what still remains as 2? What can you divide anything by that won't change the number? 1. So I can write this as 2 over 1. Or I can just write it as 2, right? That represents the same thing. 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2, correct?
Yes.
And my y-intercept is what? 10. What is the coordinate then of the y-intercept? Where would that be located on a graph? Jadelyn? 0, 10, right? You guys did this. So right away, you know that you can plot a point on the y-axis, this is my y-axis, at 10. The y-intercept is 10. The line will hit that point, right? Now from this point here, we're gonna count the slopes. So the line, I'm gonna use a red color here. The line rises by 2. The line rises by 2. Now if I jump 1 square here, because my scale's 2, I'm actually jumping 2, right? The rise is 2. And what's the run? 1. Am I going to jump across how many? Just 1, because our scale for the x-axis is 1. So we're going to go up 2. And again, because my scale is counting by 2s, I only go up 1 square, even though that represents 2, over 1. So here's another point. Here's another point. Up 2 over 1. There's another point. Up 2 over 1. And there's my line. Okay? The next part of this question says solve, what does it say? Solve using the graph. You need to find the value of x. We want to know what x is equal to when y is equal to 30. So let's go to our y-axis. Everyone looking? And I'm going to find 30. Okay? And I'm using my graph. I'm going to stop until I hit the point, and we're going to see what is the x value when y is 30. What's the x value? 10. So this point is located at 10, 30. So if y is 30, x has to be 10. And you can actually use this equation and plug that in. Y equals 2x plus 10. Well, let's check. If y is 30, look here. I'm going to replace y with 30. Does it make sense that x is equal to 10?
Yeah.
How would you isolate for x? How would you solve for x to see that it's equal to 10? Yep.
So you'd have to bring the 10 onto the other side.
Good. So that becomes 30.
Subtract.
Good.
And then equals 2x.
Good.
Isolate 2x
Good. We divide by,
itself.
so divide by 2, both sides.
And then that gets you 10.
X equals 10. So this worked. You could have used the equation to answer it, but you can also use the graph, okay? Now, I've given you an equation. Is it in the form y equals mx plus b?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So write that on top of it. So it's in the form y equals mx plus b. It's in this form because y is isolated. It's by itself, right? What is m? 2 over 3. So we know that, you can write this down, the slope is equal to 2 over 3. That means the line will rise by 2, and it has a run of 3. What else can you tell me about the line you're about to draw? What else do you know? Jillian? The y-intercept is? The y-intercept is -4. You have to include the sign. So what is one point on this line that you know automatically because you know the y-intercept? Yes.
-4.
What's the coordinate? How do I write it as a coordinate?
-4 and 0.
0, -4. So I want you to plot that point on your graph. On the y-axis, you know that the line is going to hit the y-axis at 1, 2, 3, -4. Okay? We know that the line rises by 2, so is it going to go up or down? +2. And it runs +3. So am I going to go left or right 3? 1, 2, 3. There's a second point on the line. I can connect the points. Can I keep going? Rise 2. Run 1, 2, 3. There's the next point on the line. What if I wanted to go down 2? That means that I'm showing that the rise is -2. Okay? Now would I move left or right? If I'm going down 2, would I go right 3 or left 3? Is -2 over -3 the same as +2 over +3? Yes, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I can go 1, 2, 3 left. And is it still a straight line?
Yeah.
Yes. You can extend it either way. -2 over -3 is the same as +2 over +3. Here's our line. There's the line. That's it. So for the second line I gave you, where was your first starting point? Where was the first point you plotted? That's not a point. Raise your hand. What's the coordinate of the first point you plotted? 0, 3, because, and I tried to trick you with this one, the y-intercept is 3. It's the number by itself. What's the slope?
-1.
Okay, now this is important. Remember we talked about this a few days ago. If it's a negative slope, which way does the line go? Does it go up to the right or does it go down to the right? Okay, so I'm going to go down 1. Am I going to go left or right 4? If I go left, 1, 2, 3, 4, my line's going to go this way. Is that correct? It's a negative slope. So we need to go down 1, -1, and +4. A negative and a positive still make a negative. So we go to the right. Thank you. We go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my next point. I can draw a line. I can go down 1 again over 1, 2, 3, 4. We ran out of space. Okay. What if I go up 4? +4, then I have to go which way, right or left? Good, because a +1 over a -4 is also a negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is my line, this line.